Jake, what the fuck are we doing here?
We're watching someone try and defend female custodies. Or, I mean, not defend female custodies, but someone, I don't know, someone saying something cringe about it, I guess.
Okay. So before we begin, uh, in case the audience is concerned, what's your thought on female custodies?
I think it's stupid. I think it's one of the most needless changes I've seen in lore for a good while. In a good while, it adds nothing. It contributes nothing. And quite honestly, I'm usually not one of uh, the people to decry woke every 5 fucking seconds. Um, I think it's just a step. I think it's a foot in the door for greater changes that will damage things like female space marines. Damage things even more. I'd be more specific.
Yeah, it doesn't add, it just takes.
Yeah, it takes. But more specifically, the having female custodies, it's like, so we're not going to boost our other our actual female factions that people have been wanting a boost for a long time now.
No, because, as they said with the why they couldn't include Sisters of Battle, they're too religious. In a fucking 40K setting.
Wait, that was their that was what?
That's the
Who
room.
said that?
That's the rumor going around when it comes to the Eisenhorn show that's being made. Is that that's where they're gonna introduce this female custodes so they can basically just get their brownie points. Is that sorry, I lost my train of thought for 2 seconds.
What is an inquisitor?
Because they wouldn't be as powerful.
What? Because like I know Eisenhorn's like, well, he's the psyker, isn't he?
Yep.
But like,
That's what.
couldn't you just
That's
have
that's
aren't there
that's what I
psychers
thought.
and Sisters of Battle?
Well, not even that. If well, they said they don't want to use the with the rumor is that they don't want to use Sisters of Battle because of the religiousisms. If they
What, the main character is an inquisitor?
and they can't have the person be a fellow Inquisitor because they want them to be powerful outside of the armor, which would then just makes me go make her a psyker then because psykers are really powerful. One of the most
Yeah.
famous Inquisitors right now of 40K is Inquisitor Greyfax, who's a psyker. In fact,
Yeah.
you know who in all reality who's a really, really good like example of like who they should have been using? They should have
Saint
just brought in
Celestine.
yeah, they should have just brought in Celestine. She may not be able to blow shit up with her mind, but she's literally a fucking demon for the Emperor.
I That's so dumb. That is genuinely stupid.
Yeah, and the response has not been great on both ends. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we've got people who are like we've got our thing, which is more on the reasonable side, where we're just like, please stop trying to fuck with our hobby. Like we deal with enough shit as it is.
Yeah.
There's people saying that we're just man children, and there's people that are just saying you only care about this because you're just on some sort of bandwagon, which is like that feels odd to hear, like to say
Yeah.
that to us, because we're pretty big
Mm-hmm.
Warhammer fans, and
Yeah.
I even double dipped in the hobby. I'm a fucking Warhammer fantasy, like triple dipped. Warhammer Fantasy, 40K, and Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. I'm only 40K. You're the one with the true mental illness.
Yeah, and I've well, actually, that's I was about to say I've invested in the models from each, and I don't have any old world minis yet, because I'm not gonna glue metal to plastic. That sounds fucking cringe.
And you should glue plastic to metal.
No, why can't they all just? Why can't these old world minis just be plastic or just be pewter? Like, Why?
Because gluing plastic to metal is based.
Yeah, based and gonna fucking fall apart, pilled. So,
But anyway, this video here.
who's this fuckhead? What's his?
Let me just go. Let me fucking find it. Where is it?
And for
He is Hellstorm Wargaming.
So to clarify what that fuckhead comment, we watched like a couple minutes of this ahead of time, and that's what decided us to eat. Yeah, it's what decided us to watch this in the first place. And yeah, he does come across as a bit of a fuckhead. So
yeah,
let's let him speak for himself. Take it away.
Yep.
It's been a very weird 48 hours for Warhammer fans, as the online community is in absolute meltdown over the brand new Custodes Codex. You've probably seen a little bit about it, but if you haven't, let me give you a quick rundown. On Saturday, the Adeptus Custodes Codex went on preview, and with previews you usually see reviewers such as myself with the Codex who start talking about the rules inside. But what's important is inside the Codex as well as the rules is also new lore for the Adeptus Custodes. One of which that was broken by Levox de Horus, a Spanish content creator I'm good friends with. They published some information regarding a female custodian. There was pretty much a big meltdown, lots of, for lack of better term, copium saying it was a mistranslation, etc.
I mean, I would imagine that people would say it's a mistranslation because it's like, there's no way Games Workshop would do that, right? Little did we know.
And then when Guerrilla Miniature Games put out their review, their video going over the Adeptus Custodes, they turned to the page and then it was still blurry until eventually a HD image came out, basically showing off that there is in fact, yes, a female custodian. Her name is Custodian Calades Taravalia Kesh. And there is a short story, and it's not even, I say short story, it's a full 2-page spread in this codex about this custodian, about what she is up to. And this has sent a lot of the Warhammer community, I'll say a lot, the loud ones on Twitter, that part of the Warhammer community, into meltdown. They're cancelling their Warhammer Plus, they're selling their models, they're 3D printing and pirating everything now. It's a...
Yeah, I mean, 3D printing, yeah.
Well,
they don't want to...
You go first.
I was like, well, yeah, they're 3D printing, like, probably also as just a cost measure. It's like, it's cheaper just to print this shit myself.
Oh yeah, why buy minis, like a box of minis that cost $50, and for only like 10 of them, when I could 3D print 20 for like $2.
And like, are you able to 3D print ones that are like almost identical to like ones that you officially buy?
Yeah, there's STL files all over the place, especially depending on the 3D printer. This is like super fucking easy. Like if you're just using a standard 3D printer that inlays it, where it's the little nozzle that just draws out the pattern and then works from there. Like that's one thing, and then there's resin 3D printing, which just straight up uses UV light to just like solidify the resin into an exact shape of what you're looking for, layer by layer.
So basically, you could just 3D print them, take them to tournaments, and no one would know, but you.
Possibly. You would probably have to say they're all kit bashed, because if anyone said they were 3D printed, I'm pretty sure that bans you from tournaments.
Well, yeah, because you know.
Yeah, because.
But at this point, yeah,
that's.
I would just 3D print just to save money.
Yeah, that's why I've been looking into a 3D printer, but I need to save up for the move, like, so I can't do it. Plus, where am I gonna put it? I guess I could put it on Magnus's back. He'll just be my walking 3D printer stand.
Rogue intern, it's the share, the people, it's Black Rock pushing DEI or diversity, inclusivity, and equality into games for
hold
profit. It's a rogue intern.
So I want to read some of these tweets.
Yeah.
of the Warhammer community into meltdown. They're canceling.
Selling my stock, canceling my subscription to Warhammer Plus, and never buying your products again. I won't sit and watch you destroy my hobby. I'll simply leave. When you realize the people you're courting won't buy your products, and then you'll be begging for us to come back. Yeah, that's just what's gonna happen.
That's
Continue.
because that's what they're doing. Like, why would you do this if not for trying to appease people that were never really fans to begin with, or like how many that are these people that are fans is so minuscule it won't matter.
Yeah, and if anyone goes, well, you're being a bit harsh,
Star Wars.
maybe, but we've witnessed this in the past, exactly, with like things like Star Wars, where this is not the first time we've watched a hobby kind of be burned down in front of us, and I'm especially kind of getting like bitter because of that, because I'm like, I don't want another hobby burned down. I'm really not in the mood for it anymore.
Yeah.
Especially with how expensive this hobby is to begin with. I think I've joked around with you, Jake, that I'm pretty sure I've like sunk $4,000 into this hobby. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the actual estimate. So I don't want to have to, with all of this lore changes, because a lot of these minis that I have are Custodes, to just simply be told that the lore is different, fucking deal with it. No, I don't think I will.
And if they just said the lore is different, deal with it, walks away, and they just leave it at that, but no, they're blocking people left and right.
Yeah, and gaslighting, saying there have always been female Custodes, and it's like, you're fucking lying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there haven't. Like, you're contradicting what you yourselves have written in your own stuff. And I know, like, we'll probably, I don't know if he'll mention 40k retcon, blah, 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 blah. Well, if I guess we'll save that for when if he gets into that.
Mm-hmm.
Selling their Warhammer Plus, they're selling their models, they're 3D printing and pirating everything.
Thank God 3D printing and internet exist. People can do Warhammer fan films, print their own armies, all without Games Workshop. So with the fan films, there's genuinely a chance that GW will actually try to fucking sue you, because That's true. The worst.
Yeah, they are the worst.
Now it's a rogue intern.
An official publication is the
lore.
If the phrase "females have always existed in Custodes" or some variation of it appears in the Codex, it's valid lore. Twitter, in turn, insulting hobbyists' intelligence and lore-to-date knowledge by making such an absurd claim is gaslighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying it on Twitter, that's gaslighting.
Yeah. We just lost 4 Warhammer 40k to BlackRock, DEI, and ESG. So, just curious to... in case I need to bring you up to date, do you know what BlackRock is, Jake?
Is that the parent company of Games Workshop?
No, BlackRock is an investment firm that pretty much has all their fingers in all sorts of pies, and they push DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, equality, inclusion, whatever the phrase actually is, and they will basically sink companies, because I'm talking about like the super rich. These are the people that basically these are the people that have the money to rival like Disney, and they have invested money into Games Workshop, so that means they now have to toe the company line.
That's so cringe.
Or else they'll pull their funding, and it's not just pulling funding of like a few million, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong. No, this is like billions of dollars. And
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh yeah, their CEO had a public meltdown in the middle of one of their financial earnings calls, because he had an actual meltdown because they lost 8.5 billion in contracts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is they're unironically, it's the super rich.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. And this is basically all of this stuff has been so extreme that the CFO of Games Workshop basically sold all her stock, did all that stuff, and she's like, I'm retiring. I'm taking my almost $1 million. By the way, she's been working there for 25 years, and she only has like just under $1 million in her shares.
Jesus.
And she's gone, and it's like, man, people are smelling blood in the water, and they're wanting to fucking leave. I wonder why.
Yeah. Now, granted, what Games Workshop should have done if they were forced to make the female Custodes or something, they should have done is they should have said, "Oh yeah, this is a female Custodes. However, it's a chaos mutated one that used to be male, but the powers of Slaanesh corrupted him, and then he got a sex change." That would have been funny.
Well, Jesus.
That would have been, come on, that would have been really funny.
No comment. So the
No comment.
the honestly, like I've said when I was talking to you and Mayo, was the, like, if they're gonna do something like this, they make it just the one that's brought up in the codex. Say that it's like a experiment done by the Emperor, a one-time thing. She did something horrible, and that was thus just either frozen when she should have just been killed. I know that's already the hole in that logic. But now she's back in the picture. That's one of the only ways you can make this work. Or you do just make it the full ass pull and say that it's a call.
Yeah, I mean, the Emperor one would have been the better option if we were to do this, because Belisarius Call spent how long just making, like, what was it, 1.5 new organs for Astartes and making them more proportional?
Yeah, for Primaris Marines, yeah, it was nearly 10,000 years.
Yeah. And then it's like, in which the process to make a Custodes is infinitely more complex.
Yeah, because they were handcrafted by the Emperor. Because it's not just like it's not like the Primarchs where their original lore was that they were basically test tube babies, like the Primarchs. But then their lore got changed to, they were, basically the kids of the nobles of Terra. So they had to be, they basically were a further example of the gene crafting that we would later see with things like the Space Marines.
Yeah.
The people, it's BlackRock pushing DEI, or diversity, inclusivity, and equality, into games for profit. And overall, I think that most people don't actually care. With the people,
I wouldn't say that. I would say a lot of people seem to care. At least, like, from where I'm, like, perusing, a lot of people seem to care. Because they know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah,
they've seen this before. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep saying that. They will see the blood in the water and they'll be like, we got to fucking go.
Yeah.
People, the loud ones online do care. To a point where it's got to, like, large right-wing grifters who are also...
Games Workshop at Warhammer lies about Custodes and retcons lore, gender flipping them in the new 10th edition codex for woke points, and possibly to prep for larger changes ahead, aka rumored female Space Marines. I'll prove it in this thread, and then stuff that we can't see. And then by the same guy, if you enjoy me proving that the Custodes in Warhammer 40k were always men and joining the fight against wokeness and tabletop, as well as video games, please subscribe.
Okay, literally 30 minutes. I don't see why that literally 30 minutes later thing mattered. Like,
because so if I had to guess, it's because this guy, like, just not even in like a biased type way, this is just probably what he thought. He probably just caused a massive own. Like, that's why he's like, oh yeah, go ahead and subscribe if you want me to continue my battle against wokeness. When it's just like, yeah,
that's him promoting his stuff.
So I have no context for that. So you do you, grums,
Grums, and it's like, I don't.
I have no
And
comment in a way.
right wing grifter. I don't take it seriously. I don't take anyone who says that term. I immediately just check out. It's like I don't. Those terms have no meaning anymore.
No comment as per usual, because it's somebody trying to just, they're just trying to talk shit when it's just like I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Also, talking about this topic, which is actually crazy, and as I'm recording this, Daily Mail have also put out, that famously and very much, Stoke the Flames newspaper in the UK is also talking about female.
So it's Wokehammer, Games Workshop engulf in gender row with fans, and it said Warhammer Squadron that was previously thought to be men only has always had females. Okay.
Studies and shoving Henry Cavill into the thumbnail just like every YouTuber known to man. I'm trying to come at this as from like a grandstanding of like, look, this doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but
It does though.
It does. Like,
it really does.
Stop trying to minimize this in the way that, like, because I can tell it's the attitude like, oh, this doesn't like, there's a difference between the being chill type stuff that we know with like our friends, like they're just trying to live their lives at the end of the day. Then there are these people who are professional content creators, especially in this case, his whole job is to look at Warhammer and tabletop games in general, and like this is just what he does, and he's dismissing that.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before then they come in and change something that you care about. And then it's like, oh, why? And it's like, okay, so now you care about it, and you know, and it's like, and then at that point, it's like, oh well, I guess it's too late.
Yeah. You only care since you won.
Exactly.
Can't, because last night I made a bingo card where I went through the replies to Games Workshop tweeting on their official account saying there were always female custodies, and tried.
That's yeah, when they gaslit everybody and lied to them.
To find bingo with their most common tropes. So the plan is we're going to have a look at what's actually happened after this came out, and we've made a bingo card together with the live chat. So we're going to.
Oh, is this the rest of the video?
I'm gonna 3D print, pirate, eBay my stuff. Rogue, intern, woke, Sisters of Silence are a joke to you. Share price, canceling, spent many thousands, new game, retcon, female space marines next. Mainstream, current day, leftist, tourist. Next, the Emperor will be a woman, DEI, interference, the gate, I'm assuming that means gatekeeping. Marvel, Star Wars, it's covered by the YouTube logo, so I can't read the rest of that. And then Misters of Battle. So, if this whole thing is him just going to be dunking on people, like, then honestly, you're pathetic. Like, I've got nothing to say to you. Like,
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like, the whole Sisters of Silence are a joke to you. That's a legitimate complaint.
Yeah, it's why...
The Sisters of Silence are right there. They work with the Custodes. Boost them.
Yeah, it's why, oddly enough, the Sisters of Silence were literally, like, I don't know if you knew this, they released a fucking, like, trailer thing showing off, like, hey, Adeptus Custodes, they're really cool. And they literally went, like, joined by their allies in the Sisters of Silence, and it's just like, so you do know they exist. You cunts.
Yeah. Exactly. They're right there. And like the Misters of Battle, it's like, well, yeah, why not add men into the Sisters of Battle? Fuck it. Who cares at this? Who cares? It's just a retcon.
Even though you could argue that that Crusaders would be Misters of Battle, but I digress.
Didn't they get retconned out?
They got okay, so Crusaders are technically part of the Sisters of Battle combat roster, like in the same way, like if you're making an army, if you're making a Sisters army, you can technically have Crusaders in there. That being said, lore-wise, they are not part of the Adeptus Sororitas, and are mainly known to be bodyguards for inquisitors or high-valued members of the ecclesiarchy.
Okay.
Like, they are not actually misters of battle. It's just a point I bring up because people forget the Crusaders exist. It's the opposite for the Sisters of Silence deal.
Now see how many times we can make bingo, as you can see. The options we have is I'm going to 3D print or pirate or eBay my stuff now. That it was just a rogue intern. Our sisters. Next, I had my Discord, mostly Magoo, sorry Magoo,
I just
trolling
skipped that and going
Facebook
over
today.
Yeah, we just
What's
read it.
worse is their Twitter page tried to gaslight you to thinking they've always been around. And then someone saying, new to the way, GW has been adding new models since literal decades. Because one way that Games Workshop likes to change the law is to say they've always been there.
But they're not going to sell new models though. I think they've even said they're not going to sell new models.
Yeah, there's no new models attached to this, which is what honestly makes this worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because if they were giving us female Custode models, it's like, whatever, you're trying to make some money off of it. You probably won't, but you're trying.
Yeah, you're just doing a business thing, which is at the end of the day, that's what this is all for. It's always for business. They don't give a shit about any of this kind of stuff. They just want your money.
Yeah. But this ain't gonna end up well for them.
Oh yeah, it's why their stock prices, they're not like drastically plummeting, but they are going down.
Are they like down by any are they down like below the standard sort of stock dropping thing?
I'm gonna pull this up on my phone because I can't use any of my other monitors. Let's see
because
what
like
GW's stock is at.
Because people always post like their stock dropping. It's like, well, I mean, stocks drop and raise all the time. How like is this like how much of this is like a backlash to the female Custodes, or is this just the stock market being the stock market? That's why I don't use that, because I don't understand the stock market enough, unless it's like a massive spike and the stock market isn't bad.
So just today, it went down another whole percentage over the past 5 days. It has let's see. Over the past 5 days, stock prices have gone down. Because I too don't understand. It went down from 1% to it went down 2.5%, and let's just point out like a whole month. They're almost down a whole 5%.
I don't
see.
know
The thing is, we don't understand the stock market. We're both I'm too financially irresponsible to understand.
I'm not gonna make a comment on it. I don't understand it enough. I am just gonna take the safe approach and say that is within the acceptable parameters of how the stock market operates, and move on.
You know? Remember Rogel Dawns? The whole ass tank? Games Workshop didn't design it until like last year.
Yeah, and no one, like, as far as anyone I've talked to about this, no one likes the Rogel Dorn tank. Because I certainly don't fucking like it. The Lehman Russ was good enough. Introduced new variants of the Lehman Russ.
But even then, like, introducing a new tank is not like the same. It's not on the same level.
Yeah.
These aren't equivalent.
They're not equivalent, and also in this aspect, if you like, it's also just, I don't like it regardless. It's like, that's why a lot of people just don't like Primaris Space Marines. You don't like Primaris Space Marines because it's basically Belisarius Call just suddenly made them up.
Pulled him out of his ass.
Yeah, he had, and all of what's worse about them is not only they all just suddenly start existing, they're all like made from the gene seeds of both loyalist and traitor legions, like before they fell.
Where did he get all of where? I mean, where did he get the traitor gene seed? Did he
Apparently,
always
he's
have
just
it?
had. So the reason why is because possibly within his multiple personalities of his thousands of years being alive, Belisarius Cawl has the personality of one of the gene people that worked with the Emperor himself.
Oh,
So that's why he
weird.
just has some just locked away. It's stupid. Don't like it. Not one bit.
Yeah, it sounds dumb.
Because it is.
They were never mentioned in the lore. They were not mentioned in a single book. Okay, not one
Not the same
novel
level.
pre-2023 mentioned a Rogel Dawn battle tank. But then they were always there, and no one complained.
I complained.
Okay, but they also, but again, these are not the same level. Stop.
they're
This is a false equivalence.
They're not the same, and also I forgot what it's the logical fallacy of using a generalized term that like vastly overdoing the vastly overestimating the numbers. Like when they say like nobody cares about this thing, it's like really nobody cares, and then one person cares. It's like, all right, your statement's invalid now.
It's not hasty generalization, but it might be. But I'm not sure. I do not know. I think this is a false equivalence. It's a false equivalence. That's the main fallacy I'm focusing on.
Yeah, I'm focusing on both. It's just he's and also the fucking smugness.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. He's come across like a fucking prick.
Everyone was like, oh, Rogel Dawns, I'll take free. I'll have free thanks to Games Workshop. So the fact is that Games Workshop does loads of retconnings all the time, okay? It is very normal for them to do.
It all stems from the assumption that there's a binding contrast between author and reader to adhere to some non-existent subjective construct or true representation of the setting. There's no such contract and no such objective truth.
Well, that's just wrong.
Yeah, that's dumb. And okay, so there have always been retcons, but to reiterate my previous point, not all retcons are equal. Some retcons are beneficial long term, like what they did with the Necrons, like actually like making them, like actually adding a tragic element to their history and stuff. And then there's just retconning things for no justifiable or good reason. Because like a lot of Warhammer lore, while you do have retcons, a lot of it is just trying to make it as concise as possible.
And there's also at the end of the day, it also just has to do with money. I would need to talk with Danny again because he knows the most about this, because there's that white dwarf, like the female Space Marines that I believe were just a third party add-on army made by a different company, and they got rid of them because they weren't selling.
Yeah. But in terms of this quote here, it's like, no, it is your responsibility as a writer to remain coherent and consistent.
Yeah.
Like
otherwise, what's
this
the fucking
isn't
point?
Exactly. That's why CS Godo got so much fucking shit. Like when it came to a lot of his like horrible additions that I don't think anybody acknowledges anymore.
See, I need a reminder on who that is.
It was this writer that like basically made Space Marines, if I'm remembering what Danny said correctly, basically like weird, like snarling monsters that can barely talk.
That must have been like early days lore.
Possibly. That probably was been early lore. But again, like a lot of that early lore, especially from the Rogue Trader days, GW was like, oh, that's really dumb and stupid and doesn't make sense. So we're gonna try and like again, it's the focusing and the narrowing of the current setting and story. It's why, like, like, obviously, like, Horus wasn't always the Emperor's son when you go back to, like, the really early days, but, but he is now.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's not the same on the same level, because there's a reason why you make Horus the Emperor's favorite son. Is to add, it actually adds to the narrative of the Horus heresy.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's just they've always existed. What are you talking about? Ignore the previous codexes.
Also, not to mention, even when it shows like favoritism, for example, amongst the other legions, like that's when it's just up to just bad authors.
Yeah. Nobody likes Matt Ward.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, he did help revise the Necrons.
Yeah, but I feel like without all of that work done, he's still like it. We had to rely on people like Dan Abbott, who's an actual good writer, to create things. Like he's made a lot of great. I think he's a lot of the authors of the Ultramarines omnibus.
Yeah.
Votan, another great.
Oh, whoops.
You're fine.
Votan, another great one. They had squats, arguably. They just all died. They just went all dead. Okay? Leagues of Votan aren't actually squats. They've not come back and then called them Leagues of Votan. They're a different race. Okay? And then they just went.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
again,
that's not the same.
Also, not a good retcon. I have a few Votan minis, but other than that, I actually don't like the Leagues of Votan. But that's due to other reasons, such as the fact that they are excuse me, they basically just are relying on Deep Rock Galactic Resonance references.
Even if, like, you look at it from an in-universe perspective, like, the squats in the Leagues of Votan evolving similar traits and characteristics, and I believe they lived in similar worlds, like, that's something that can happen. That's something that's like, yeah, we don't like this is weird, why not just bring back the squats, why are this whole other thing, right? But, and it's like, that's really, really dumb and kind of weird, but in universe it's like, okay, these two races can exist. There's nothing like inherently contradictory about that when female Custodes are inherently contradictory to what has been established.
Exactly.
So again, the retcon is not, these aren't the same, and I don't like it when people think that they try to equate all retcons. I mean, like, I harp about retcons a lot in my videos, but it's because the retcons do so much damage to what has come before, to the point where things no longer make sense, as opposed to, like, things don't make sense in the short term, and maybe, like, the past one or two stories are less consistent. However, it makes it more consistent with more previous stories, and it will aid it in the long run. Those are like when retcons are actually, like, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this.
They were always there. But funny enough, no one complained about that. You know,
I'm sure there were people that complained about that.
Again, I complained about that. I literally explained both the lore of squats and the Votan to you, and your response was, "I'm just gonna call them squats."
Exactly. I'm just gonna call them squats.
And also, like, it's ignoring all the other, like, abhumans that exist in 40k, because, they just won't fucking write for them. Because the squats aren't the only abhumans that GW has forgotten about. Like, it's not just the squats. They forgot about the ratlings, they've forgotten about the cat people. They've forgotten about those weird species that are the, like, true sons of the Emperor.
Oh, the sensei?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like Emperor in his younger days actually reproducing the old-fashioned way.
I mean, to be fair, again, like, how's that even... How's that even fucking possible?
Well, maybe that was before he like became the emperor that we all know, and he was just like a very strong psyker, but relatively normal compared to who he would become. Because like he wasn't always the emperor, you know, he was just a very strong psyker,
I mean, he
and
was
then he
always
became
the...
the emperor.
I mean, he was always the Enigma. I mean, sorry, not the Enigma. The Athema.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was always the anathema, but like he wasn't always as strong as he would be during the Great Crusade. Because like I think he like his like the way Horus got his upgrade. I think it's the similar way that the Emperor got his upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Retcon, the shoehorn. There was no short stories about Rogel Dawn battle tanks being entered into the lore. Or
same.
Votan. Well, Votan did get short stories in their codex. You know, they got like some codex short stories about what they've been
Not
up
the
to.
same.
But no, when it's a woman in a custom battle, the gold battle armor.
Oh,
God
there
damn
it is.
You did the fucking thing.
You
God...
did the thing. You did.
All right.
You did the thing.
You smug son of a bitch. All right, now the fucking gloves are even further off. You did the thing, because it's a woman, it's suddenly bad. It's not just because it's a fucking woman. You're essentially retconning what was pre-established lore, and they're just saying fuck it. The fact that they're women isn't the fucking problem. Because there are entire armies, entire factions, great characters that are women.
Yeah.
The Sisters of Battle, all the women characters that we've had in the Guard. Like, there's a recent one who just got a fucking mini. I don't remember her name at the moment, but that's just the fact that I'm not glued with so many characters' names in a setting where there's thousands of them. And...
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a reason, like, I can off the top of my head, like, reference Saint Celestine, because she's a fucking living saint. She's basically a demon for the fucking Emperor. Like...
Yeah. It's...
I don't get mad when I see a female Inquisitor like Greyfax or Amberly Vale. I don't get pissed at that, because it's not impossible. The reason...
And it doesn't go against things that have been established either.
And then, when we bring up, again, the Sisters of Battle, the Sisters of Battle have an amazing fucking backstory, because they're fucking, trained at the, the same place that, Tempestus Scions are,
and Commissars, right?
The Schola Progenium.
Schola
They're
Progenium.
trained at the Schola Progenium because they're fucking war orphans. War orphans taken by the church, turned into, and trained to be these amazing fucking warriors to fight for the personal army of the church.
Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with you? It's not just because they're women. I'm sure there is just some fucking asshole who is just foaming at the mouth that, women are just in the setting. I don't care about those people. I don't care about absolute fucking morons. Because why would I? I have a life. Supposedly. And you people that are just deciding, trying to, think for people like me and people like Jake, that essentially, we're just mad because we hate women.
No,
don't
I
fucking
don't hate
assume
women.
shit for me.
I don't hate women. I absolutely adore Amberly Vale. She is funny and witty, and her and Caiaphas are fucking adorable.
You literally named, when we played Titanfall, you literally named your Titan Amberly.
Yeah, I named my Titan Amberly. I named it that. Because I love Amberly Vale. And then Latara Sarin, I can't wait to get to her fucking Giga Chad ass. Shoots Chaos Corrupted World Eater in face, refuses to elaborate, leaves.
fucking Ankron stomping around. She goes up to him. What bills do you pay to try to break shit on my ship?
And then constantly reminding him that it's her ship, and it's like, yes, well, on my ship. There's a reason why Angron's like, you're mine, blood hand on the chest. You're mine. That right there, that one's mine. No one else can have it.
There's a reason why there's the meme of, like, a space marine running through the halls of a battle cruiser. It's like space marines aren't supposed to feel ill fear. And it's fucking her going around a corner and going, who scratched the floor on my hangar?
Yeah. There's plenty of women in 40K. Like, 40K is immensely diverse. You have so many people, different genders or skin colors or whatever, in backgrounds, and you have all these different. It's like, lift them up.
One of the best fucking animated shows to come out of Warhammer Plus, Pariah Nexus, its main character is a sister of battle.
Yeah, and one of its other characters is an Asian salamander.
This isn't a fucking problem of diversity. It's a made-up issue made by people that don't fucking read any of this shit. Because they're not interested in reading it. They're not interested in playing. They're only interested in changing it so that it suits their needs. It burns to the ground, and then they laugh on the ashes.
Because they're fucking gene stealers. Like, these people are just gene stealers. They arrive, they infect, they kill, they leave.
And I don't like if anyone who's listening to this and is basically like, man, these two are angrier than normal. Like, forgive the fucking harsh rhetoric, but yes, we are fucking pissed.
I sound reserved, but like, man, that when he said that, it was like, motherfucker, you are in this hobby too. You should know better. Like, it'd be one thing if this was from an actual tourist, but like, you review like the books and stuff of the tabletop aspect, and like you do that with the codexes and you read them. You should know better than that. Because like, female Custodes is just the beginning. Just the beginning to pander to people that don't care.
And I bet you he would, like, because you said that, he would just, like, mark it down on his bingo card. Because he's not actually listening to you.
Yeah, no, he does. Because, like, the fact that on his bingo card he put just ignoring the Sisters of Silence just kind of shows that to me. Because, like, yeah, why would they make Sisters of Silence stuff? We have female Custodes. Who cares about the Sisters of Silence?
So infuriating.
And then there's the fucking Coomer aspect of it, which, listen, 10-foot tall muscle mommies, I'm all for that, but let's not do it with, let's not ruin things just to get that.
I made the joke in Danny's video. It, like, cause he asked, like, name one reason female Custodes should be around, and I made the joke, it'd be hot, says the fan with his hands down his pants. It's just a Coomer that would be saying that. And don't get me wrong, the art of the female Primarchs is pretty hot. Not lore accurate, though.
And it's like, oh my god, like, what's next? One of the fucking Primarchs, the lost ones, was a woman.
That's probably what's next, in all reality.
God damn it. God damn it.
This is what happens. Like, this is why, like, gatekeep harder and harder and harder. Don't let these people in. It's starting to turn into an issue where it's like, I'm starting to think we might need to genuinely start testing these people as they come in.
Yeah.
Which we shouldn't have to do, because that's fucking cringe.
Yeah, that is utterly, like, that's like a weird caricature shit of what people like label us as doing. But like, I don't
It's turning into the fact that we just might fucking have to if it keeps these people away.
Exactly. Like, I remember Danny was in like an interview talking about femme marines, and like, and like someone was talking about Horus, and then like, and then the person didn't even know Horus had a last name.
Lupercal.
Exactly, his last name is Lupercal. It's like, Horus has a last name. Yes, Horus has a last name. Fucking tourist.
What other? What would it not be if? What?
Exactly. Someone doesn't know that Taurus had a last name, and I'm like, okay, so then you're not. Then get out. And then you have fucking people that are like, I remember seeing tweets about it, like with the female custodians, like, man, this is gonna be great for like women and girls to look at it, and then like she admits, oh, I'm not really into the hobby myself. It's like, okay, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You don't know shit.
You don't know anything. Go away.
Exactly.
Everyone's outraged, you know? New models are one thing, but you don't get to hard recon an entire faction and just pretend you aren't doing that. So there we go, guys. We've had the first one. Retcon. That's already gone.
Yes, because it's a fucking retcon. Like, regardless of its fucking severity, it's a fucking retcon. Like, I've had this issue with comic books for the longest fucking time. Within the same fucking span of a couple years, Spider-Man was both the accidental thing of the spider biting him, a actual experiment created by Norman Osborn to create super people, and then also picked by a spider god. It's shit regardless.
And like, listen, that comment, if I recall, he was like offering like maybe somewhat of an explanation to justify it as well, but the guy's not acknowledging that.
Yeah, because we can actually fucking read. The idea is that he like pushing for the change due to needing more soldiers to fight people like the High Fleet
Leviathan.
Yeah, we're just because that's just what needs to get done. We've fucking mentioned that. It's the idea that Gilman just basically keeps pushing for more and more soldiers because the Imperium is supposedly always on its last fucking leg.
And it's probably to the point where the only way to defeat the Tyranids is fuck. We gotta go to the blue cringe lords, the knife ears, and maybe and depending on how they feel, probably some of the Skelly boys. Because we can't do it alone. But like, it literally offers a way to potentially make it somewhat, at the very least, somewhat justifiable.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's just what a competent writer just fucking does. Like somebody who's just when you see the rules, you see the restrictions you give them, you don't whine, you don't bitch, you work with what you've got, or you walk away. This is somebody who is working with what you got. By the way, I just realized these are all these people's actual fucking names.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's not cool.
You know, normally when they're trying to like own these fucking people, at the very least we would do this. We would blot out their fucking names, or hopefully if it's Twitter, it's just their usernames.
Yeah, like Twitter is fine because typically it's just their username.
This is Facebook. This is somebody's actual fucking name.
Yeah, like holy shit. That's not cool, dude. That's not cool. Are you gonna like put this in the editor to like cover up their names?
I'm gonna have to now. I'm gonna have to do extra work. Because I just realized that this fuckhead just decided to just accidentally dox people. And if either he himself responds to this, like if he sees this somehow, or if any of his fans relay this to him, yeah, I'm gonna call you out. You did a fucking stupid thing. I don't care if this is on a stream. You released this video. You could have done the fucking editing. I'm now gonna have to be doing your fucking job.
Or at the very least, you should have collected screenshots and then, like, you know, like, highlighted them out.
That's what this is. This is a fucking screenshot. So he should have done his due diligence and fucking scribbled it out. That's what you do.
Exactly.
Even if you're on your fucking phone. I've had to do this where I scribble out somebody's fucking name using, like, when I took a screenshot and I just basically threw it in the editor and just went, just with my finger, just fucking rubbing the name out. Because you don't do this.
No, you don't. It's shitty.
But you don't get to hard recall.
Yeah, like with the bulk of with the bulk of Leviathan attacking. Yeah.
An entire faction and just pretend you aren't doing that. So there we go, guys. We've had the first one. Retcon. That's already
Fucking
gone.
dishonest prick.
Went to Facebook. So the people are having a very normal response to this, basically. You know it's going to be good when there's numbers in the username. And Warhammer, why did you make female Custodes? And Warhammer said, since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female Custodes.
Which,
Fucking
again,
gaslighting and lying.
Yeah, that's ultimately our biggest problem, like, with this. Like, that's the biggest problem, at the very least, I've had with it, is, why did you say it like that?
Yeah. You're lying to us.
I would have fucking accepted Call just figured it out. It's stupid. Not as stupid as just saying they've always been around.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's just gaslighty. There is no war in Bossing Say.
Exactly.
There are no men in the walls. There's no war in Bossing Say. We've always had female.
2 plus
Custodes.
2 equals 5.
And what's worse is when people are creating fan comics of the idea of a female Custodes. They say there have always been female Custodes, and the person who is, I think it's a High Lord of Terra, looks at this Custodes, and it's a fucking Zinch demon.
Yeah.
Which,
by the way,
that's what this sounds like.
Exactly.
This sounds like a
something...
Lord of Change has somehow infiltrated the Imperial Palace.
It sounds like a Lord of Change is infiltrating Games Workshop.
Yeah. Oh no, they doubled down. They doubled down. This one clearly had a very normal response. People can 3D print your models. Hope this is worth it. Ding, ding, ding. I'm gonna 3D print. Surely that.
Yeah.
Do it.
Of 3D print regardless, actually. Not only because it's fucking justified by this point, it's been justified because their models are too fucking expensive. I just wanted a handful of Space Marines to just paint. Just because I was in the mood for painting smooth surfaces. Like, and then, meanwhile, it's fucking... Like, that box was $40. And I'm like, this should be at the most $20. It's fucking plastic. Plastic that does not cost that much to make.
No, it doesn't.
Counts. I think that counts, right? That does count. Ding, ding, ding.
Fucking
2 on the board. And so Warhammer joins Disney Wars and Doctor Who in being allergic to money. Disney is dying. Disney's dying.
They are. They still haven't made up for the cost of buying Lucasfilm. $4 billion down the fucking hole. Every movie they've made has only been at a loss. Creating a whole new streaming service. No, I think TFA, I think it only grossed...
TFA is one of the highest... TFA gross over... It's one of the highest grossing films that has ever been made, TFA.
But how much
it made over $2 billion.
But remember the cost to make.
Yeah, TFA budget. TFA budget. Oh, okay. Force Awakens. 245 million. So even with marketing, so even if we put in marketing, it still made money.
Okay, so that made money that was then invested into other stuff like
TLJ probably.
TLG, Tross, Mandalorian, the entirety of Disney Plus.
Yeah.
A Book
Now,
of
granted,
Boba
I
Fett, Andor.
oh god, well, and Andor's.
Andor was good, but at the same time, still cost money.
Yeah.
Like it's they still like, and also, it has been reported that they are hemorrhaging money during their financial reports.
Mm-hmm.
And
So like, and the thing is, like, this just comes across as the most condescending shit imaginable.
really does.
Like, I couldn't even imagine doing this with, like, people would be spurging out if GW did a 180 and said the Imperium of Man are the good guys. Right? I wouldn't even do that with, like, the fucking weirdos that would be spurging out and, like saying, oh no, they're no, you know, like,
Well,
this is just condescending.
Because it'd just be a return of, like, all the Tau stuff.
Yeah. Tower cringe.
They will always be cringe.
Exactly.
That was so. This is going to go so quick. This segment's going to be done. GW might be tempted to think, well, we have 4K likes and only 1,000 replies, so we're technically in the green. But keep in mind that is every like that could be found in any corner of Twitter by some people who don't care.
Why are you doing this fucking voice?
It's so fucking weird. And the thing is, what he's saying isn't even, like, retarded. Like, it's not even, like, stupid. He's just describing things that are, like, it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird, sure, that he's, like, saying this, but, like, it's not, like, egregiously stupid.
Yeah, he's basically, once again, just bringing up the logistical bullshit when it comes to this decision. And again, that's all this boils down to, is logistics of making money. Because that's all this is for. This is here to make money.
And just want to stick it to the chuds. Those 1,000 replies, on the other hand, are from people who cared enough to voice their displeasure.
Which is true. The majority of those are people who are voicing their displeasure with this decision. So, like, I don't see the problem here.
Let me remind you that the seller squad of 10 guys for $70. Only the ones who really care are buying your shit. Wow.
That's true.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's true. The only people that's buying the things are the overwhelming majority of people that don't like this decision. Like, sure, there are probably some people that are fine with it that are still buying the stuff. I'm pretty sure they exist, and they might even exist in potentially even more significant numbers than I may think they do. But yeah, no. This is how things die.
Wow, is this an anime guy? Is this guy, does he think he's the main character in some anime?
What?
Was that doing
I was reading the
anything?
monologue. Woke liars! Bing, bing, bing! We found one!
Okay, you know what? While he's doing woke liars, let's read this one right here. This is the laziest thing I think I've ever seen from this account. Ever since 1987, not so much as a whisper in lore novels or a single miniature. Now all of a sudden, boom, they were always a thing. No world building or development. So disappointing and pathetic. Why don't you address that one? You know, the one that actually has a point to make instead of just crying woke.
Yeah.
But even then, I've been reading some lore and thinking about getting into Warhammer. Maybe I won't now.
Oh, we only need tourists to get a bingo. I've been reading some lore and thinking about getting into Warhammer. Maybe I won't now. You were never going to get into Warhammer. You are clearly a grifter because he's trading.
What do you mean? He was never going to get... What do you mean he was never
How do you fucking know that?
Yeah. How do you know he was ever going to get into Warhammer?
You know there's like a chance for fucking people to always get into the hobby, right? Like,
Yeah.
this, and this could potentially stop a new customer that actually wanted to get into it, which once again prevents further fucking money.
Yeah, like using an example that, like I know and maybe some other people will know, like if someone's trying to get into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh and like right in and like they change and right into where they're like, because Yu-Gi-Oh's already a tough game to get into like from the start, there's so much, but let's just say someone's managed to plow their way through all of that and has gotten the hang of how the game works, and then bam, they fundamentally change how the game works right as they're getting into it. They're gonna leave.
They are.
They're just gonna say, "Yeah, no, I'm done." And like, yeah, and the thing is, like again, woke liars. I think crying woke at like everything is fucking cringe. I can kind of see it here because this definitely does give off that impression of we're trying to win over people who don't give a shit about our product. Um, but like, sure, fine, I get it, but at the same time, how do you know he wasn't gonna get into Warhammer? He very well could have. Maybe he was burned by Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who. And he's like, here's another sci-fi franchise that seems really cool, has a neat aesthetic. And then something like this, the thing that he's watched countless times happen. It starts with this and then it leads over to other things. And he goes, yeah, no, I'm not getting invested in a thing that I think will be destroyed.
Yeah, because that's literally what happened with me.
Mm-hmm.
I literally joined this hobby because I was so sick of Star Wars being burned in front of me that I was like, you know what? I'm not putting up with this anymore.
I just wanted to like I just wanted to be like some, because like I think I was kind of like neutral on a lot of the stuff that I had recently really liked, and I was just looking for something new to like try and immerse myself in. And then I found this and I found 40K, and then it's like, oh, this is so cool. And like they like year and a half, 2 years after I've gotten into it, it's like, oh no, it started.
Yeah.
Trading EDU, which is probably how I help educate traders to earn money in the market. Selling.
Okay.
Your point? What was that about? Yeah, people do this kind of stuff.
Some course. That's what he's doing. He ain't got time to play Warhammer. He's got courses to sell.
What if he actually is selling actual courses?
Or here's something you'd never fucking thought of. What if he multitasks? I did that a lot. I would be taking calls, for example, in the middle of painting minis.
I mean, there were times when I was taking a break at work, I would be touching up scripts and adding to them as I took breaks at work. And guess what? I work on my YouTube and get paid there for a small amount as I get paid. I get paid while also working a full-time job. I do two things at once.
Heaven forbid. Like, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
What's this weird fucking attitude he has?
Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
What's the thing? Where is the minis? I don't know. Maybe they're gonna come out. That would be.
No, they're not coming out.
GW
Now,
said
granted,
they're making
this video was made, I think, before they said that there weren't going to be any minis. So
Cool. Big hot Bobby Custody models. I would paint the shit out of that. Okay.
fucking go paint Sororitas or Sisters of Silence or female Eldar or female Drukhari or try or 3D print you some big titty Tau women or something.
Not even that. Like, this is where, like, I'll even draw the fucking line. Sir, you are free to do whatever the fuck you want with your minis. You bought them with your money. And you're painting them with your paint. This isn't someone's commission. This is you just doing your own thing. Go
Why
nuts.
not kit bash them?
I don't give a shit.
Why not kit bash some like Sisters of Silence stuff with like a Custodes helmet or something?
Yeah, that's probably what they'll do. Like they're because yeah, they could always kit bash. That's literally like if you wanted to make female Custodes and you wanted to make them fast, you could probably, if you already have leftover Custodes bits, just buy some Stormcast Eternals, because a good chunk of those minis are women, and just stick a Custodes helmet on them. They've got armored tits, like there.
You could do that, yeah.
Like, it's almost as if like I've been in this hobby for quite a while, and I've always understood people can do whatever the fuck they want with their minis. I'm not going to judge them on that because it's not my place to judge. Just don't touch the fucking lore.
Exactly.
You're doing that to avoid trouble with gender stuff, or just wanted to sell stuff to them. That's crazy. Can you imagine a public company wanting to sell stuff?
yeah. If they wanted to sell stuff, they'd boost some armies that have been neglected, like my Sallies.
Just because you said that, they're probably gonna die in another novel.
No, leave my wholesome boys alone.
Just because you said that, a commissar just shot their families.
Oh, that commissar's dead then. The entire chapter is gonna be like it's just gonna be like fucking kicking the shit out of him in one big like angry green pile.
Yeah.
What a wild concept, he said, / sarcasm, just in case it wasn't obvious. Which are not going to make enough money to cover the investment since no one's going to buy it. Yeah, raise your hand. Would you buy Hot Mommy in gold armor to paint and play on the battlefield? Would you? Yeah?
I mean,
I have Sister of Silence? Sure, yeah.
I mean, I have Stormcast Eternals. I've already, like, I don't gotta worry about buying women in gold armor. But guess what?
Yeah.
Hey, like, what's this guy's name again? I don't. We've already forgotten his fucking name again.
Well, let's call it. Well, wait, hold up.
Because I keep calling him Fuckhead.
Hellstorm Wargaming.
I'm just gonna keep calling him Hellstorm. So Hellstorm, you wanna know something interesting? Hellstorm, and Jake, come here, come closer.
Okay, all right.
Age of Sigmar is a completely different fucking thing.
Okay.
That's why I can do shit like that, and also just the fact that they're my fucking minis. But like, the idea that it's like, oh, would you paint the muscle mommies? Like, it probably, like, but but not in fucking 40K. Or if it's in 40K, they're Sisters of fucking Silence.
Yeah.
I'm trying to turn 40K into Sigmar, because like most people don't give a shit about Age of Sigmar.
And stop trying to bring like as much as I too am a man of culture. Stop bringing your Coomer shit into your rationalization.
Yeah, if you want to coom on something, just coom on something. Well,
yeah,
gross, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Gender stuff, Bishop, true. DEI interference, gender stuff, diversity, equality, and inclusivity. The gender stuff strikes again.
Good God.
Rick,
absolute pathetic.
The whole diversity, equity, inclusion stuff is like there is a basis for that because it's literally happening. It's why groups like Sweet Baby Inc. Detected exist. Because they're literally doing this shit.
Yeah, they are.
Whether or not if it's as big of a deal as everyone else it is, like you form your own opinions on that. I'm not gonna say shit. Like,
yeah,
because it's a wider industry question, and I'd rather focus. If I'm gonna focus on any industry, it's gonna focus. It's gonna be one thing at a time.
I hope you learn the importance of law, integrity, and fan base from these dumpster fire. Oh god! Oh, it's like I'm watching so much anime. It's so cringe.
What the fuck do you
What
mean?
does that even mean?
He thinks this is an anime main character monologue or something, even though what he's saying has nothing to. It's literally like him. This is the most childish bullshit I think I've seen in a while.
Does this come close to like movie Bob? I think it genuinely might.
I don't know. Movie? No, he. No, I can actually understand his sentences.
Well, when you slow him down, sure.
No, like no, the structure of Movie Bob sentences, even if you read them, you read the words, they don't make sense when you put them together.
Since when? Show your work.
Yeah. Show your work, please.
Yeah,
So since
yeah,
when?
Yeah, it's called citation fucking needed.
Mm-hmm.
Show your work. 2 + 2 is 4. Since when? Show your work. Chat.
Imagine caring about the consistency of the actual worlds that you are invested in.
And also, yes, if somebody is trying to, like, if they're trying to say that the lore has been different and they are asking for a citation, you prove that citation. If I was to say 2 + 2 = 4 and Jake were to go prove it, I would then just simply put the math on the table. It's like, it's that.
Yeah.
Like, people
You won't get.
People need to fucking learn this all the time when it comes to analyzing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Chat. You won't get full marks on this test if you don't show.
All right, let's read this. Show your work, and this is coming from a custodian player. Never once in any of the codexes did it say that. Now, if you're going to talk about Sisters of Silence, sure, but that's not Custodes. Hell, Joy Toy doesn't have one. Stop trying to retcon to please a small player base. How about you actually work with the women models that are already out there?
Based.
That's a reasonable take. I don't
a-
see the issue with that.
It's a very rational and reasonable take because it's coming from somebody that like understands the lore and understands the army in which he's working in. Also, yeah, based fellow Custodes player.
You're working out.
I hope
okay?
you're not crying over the nerf.
Work. That's not true. They were always.
Motherfucker didn't even bother to at least in this video. Maybe he did on stream, but in this video, he didn't even bother to read the rest.
Yeah, just like moving on.
Yeah. Well, always met this guy. This guy, right? He is everywhere at the minute. He was all over the Helldivers satire thing, trying to say it wasn't satire because he's that stupid.
I know Helldivers is satire.
Yeah, like even if he's wrong on that, he's right on this.
Yeah.
But now he's seen that there's a grift in 40k. Bearing in mind he's never mentioned Warhammer in his life until today. That's not true.
Ooh, like the genetic fallacy.
You don't need to fucking shit. You don't need to, like, even if this wasn't happening in something that I was like already invested in. Say this, like, I'm not as invested into, like, say Yu-Gi-Oh as much as you are, Jake. If some big lore change was happening in the show that basically disrupted all the lore of the fucking card game, I would be just as mad with you because it's just bullshit that's being changed for no fucking reason.
Not a particularly good example because the show and whatever lore people can gather in the cards is just different.
You know what I mean, though. Franchise,
I know.
Big lore change. The example still follows on a base level.
Yeah, if someone said, like, oh, Atem was always a woman or something, it's like, no, he wasn't. Shut up.
Yeah. Like, if that... Like, I wouldn't just be like, well, this has nothing to do with me, so I'm not gonna get angry. I'd be like, oh man, that really sucks. I'm angry with you.
And then, or if, like, they introduce... Sorry.
I was gonna say it goes more than the fact that I'm your friend on this. I just don't want to see franchises get fucking ruined by some bullshit.
Or, like, if Konami decided to reprint something like a Fallen of Albaz or something, and, like, they reprint it as a woman, And then like they only ever reprint that version. And when you ask, well, why would you do this? It's like, well, Albaz was always a woman. It's like, no, Albaz was a fucking boy. Was a dude.
Or if they
That's
say Dark Magician was always a woman, because if I'm correct,
even though Dark Magician Girl exists.
Exactly. I was about to bring that as like, there's literally just a card that says Dark Magician Girl.
There's multiple of like that same kind of style of like female magicians. Like there's an entire magician girl fucking sub archetype.
There are always men. See my pinned thread. You can make them feel on that. Female now. Mistake when you have Sisters of Silence. Bing, bing. I think I'm going to take that one as Sisters of...
Oh my god. What? Don't understand. Why are you lambasting someone for saying we have women already? Use them. What is wrong with you?
Because
this
isn't about argumentation. This isn't about any of this stuff. This guy just wants cheap owns, despite the fact that he's being a moron.
Honestly, the only one coming across as grifting is you, my dude.
Sisters of Silence are a joke to you.
Yeah. That's a valid complaint, you fucking retard.
But why lie about the past? Because they retcon everything. Because they always change it. Because this isn't new.
And
why are you saying it like that?
I don't know. He wants to because he's a retard that thinks that all retcons are equivalent and the same. He thinks that there's absolutely no nuance when it comes to something like giving the Necrons more depth and changing their lore to something more interesting that people really, really liked, and focusing and narrowing this on the story to try and cut out a lot of the goofy shit and try and make something more cohesive and coherent, and just doing stuff to appeal to people that won't fucking care. It's not the same thing. It's like in comics, right? Like, we take a look at when Hal Jordan went evil. Like, the original story, if I recall correctly, he just went evil. There was no influence on him.
Yeah, it was then.
However,
it was then retcon that Parallax took over his body.
Yeah. Like, Parallax was the fear entity, where it's like, that's a retcon, sure, but it's one that I believe people were okay with, because it's like, oh well, Hal just didn't flat out go evil. He was possessed and it was against his own will and stuff.
Yeah, it's not done with the biggest grace, because it's almost done with the same subtlety as he was just under mind control, which I've never really liked that excuse.
Yeah. But it was a way that I think Jeff Johns was the one that retconned it. But it was just kind of done in a way to try and, like, I don't know, I guess try and, like, salvage Hal as a character in a way.
Which is good. You should always, if you like see a broken character, your job as a writer is either to kill them or to try to fix them.
Yeah, and Jeff Johns was trying to fix. Yeah, was trying to fix Hal, I guess, in the sense of, well, he went evil, but it wasn't really of his own free will. He was being possessed by a super powerful entity that comes from the Yellow Lantern Battery, which is like, well, that's kind of goofy and silly.
Though it was actually the fact that Parallax, because of Parallax was basically inside the green power battery on Oa. He was trapped inside it this whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then you compare that to, well, let's do everyone's favorite retcon, One More Day.
Do we have to?
Yeah, like One More Day, where it's like, that's an in-universe, right? That's like not like something that you add in later from an outside meta perspective. This is an in-universe rewriting of history.
Yeah, all so that we could appease a publisher's quota that we can't have Spider-Man be happy.
Yeah. It was awful. Nobody, like, and Spider-Man, I believe, is still suffering from it to this very day.
Yeah, they still have no even. In fact, they keep making it worse with the whole, now Mary Jane is married, has 2 kids. The
They're not
guy that we
his.
don't know.
Yeah, because apparently she was on an island with him for like a short period of time, and like I had
Well,
needs Peter.
short period of time for Peter. I think it was years for
Okay.
them, because they were trapped in a weird time dilation dimension. It's a long story that I'm actually,
Okay.
for once, I'm not gonna get into.
But at the same time, it's like well, MJ, like, come on. But yeah, no, like he should just marry. He should just get with Black Cat and marry her and have kids with her. Fuck it, just do that.
Well, I love the consequences of this. Is literally Peter's hooking up with Black Cat, and MJ just sees them kissing on the news, and she's just all sad, and it's like, yeah, you get what you fucking deserve.
Yeah, but kind of going back to the point where one more day and retconning the one more day retcon is literally undoing decades of history. Like Peter and MJ aren't married. Like you had Peter acting like an absolute fucking moron through that story. You had like weird shit where it's like no, like and more or less he just wouldn't let Aunt May die. He just would not. He just could not accept the fact that she's going to die. So he has to make a deal with Mephisto, and Mephisto wants his marriage. And like they undo the unmasking of Spider-Man as well. They undo they undo a bunch of shit.
They don't even undo the masking. The unmasking still happened. It's just that.
Okay.
It's just that no one remembers what he looked like, which I think is even worse.
Oh yeah, just that you've undone the unmasking of Spider-Man, but nobody remembered what he looked. That's what. Yeah, that is worse. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because those are both retcons. One is clearly worse than the other. Both are detrimental in the short term, of course. However, the one with Hal Jordan benefits the long term. And again, and kind of going back with the Necrons, that retcon, again, inconsistent and not that great in the short term, but in the long term, you have so much potential for stories. So much potential. So there's them being, what was it, evil chaos androids, that's what they were originally?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, making them like a tragic tale of a race desperate to escape the hell in which they were born into, and trying to overthrow like the old one, becoming slaves to the Catan, and then eventually they themselves enslaving the Catan, but ultimately losing their souls. That's infinitely better. There's so much potential you could tell for stories involving that.
Yep. Hence why one of the best stories, the Infinite and the Divine, literally is just Trazyn and Orican going on being an old married couple, and thus like it's possibly revealed that Trazyn was the one who dragged Orican himself into the biotransference chamber. Just saying.
Yeah. Trazyn the Infinite is one of the best characters of 40k.
It's why again, when we were trying to get Max into this hobby, like he just immediately fell for Necrons.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Necrons are cool.
They bring some out and then write a story about it. Every single model that was invented after Rogue Trader was shoehorned in.
Well, no, Rogue Trader and 40k are not the same thing inherently.
They're not, and if you want to talk about like GW's focus as a company, all the way back then, it was Rogue Trader, but their main thing was Warhammer Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
He would know that if he wasn't a tourist who was just a grifter or what.
What do you mean? Would you? I wouldn't call him a tourist. I don't know enough about him, but like he clearly did his research. He provided his references.
And yeah, good on him, because he's doing God's work.
Yeah, like he did his references. Here's an idea. Prove his references wrong. Because again, like even people like this admit, yeah, this is a retcon. That was never a thing. And it's like, okay, well then we've got over that hurdle. It's bad. You go, well, there's always been retcons, and it's like, well, not all retcons are the same. Explain to me why this retcon is the same as the other ones.
He won't though.
No, he won't, because these people are fucking stupid. They don't understand nuances when it comes to like world building and writing.
Ever content was popular that week. Showing so close to a bingo. We're getting so close to bingo. I can feel it in my bones. Okay. I can...
By the way, I want to gauge this guy. How many retcons would it take for you to just not be okay with it?
What, this guy?
Yeah, I want to ask this guy. Let's like, the Tau are unironically the good guys. Actually, Chaos isn't evil. Actually, Horus was like Horus never betrayed the Emperor. Actually, the Emperor was always a skeleton in a chair. Actually, fuck it. What if they do the Imperium is an inclusive, diverse, and tolerant society? Actually. The Imperium are the unironic good guys, actually. Like, okay, maybe that last one's a bit.
I mean, they are to us, but that's because we're human and
exactly
and unironically based.
Yeah, so yeah, the whole Imperium are the good guys thing. They're the good guys in the context of 40K. Like, in the context of that world, they're like the least of all the evils. But no, like how much change do we need to do? Like, there have been men in the Sisters of Battle, actually. There have been men in the Sisters of Silence, actually. Caiaphas Cain is an unironic coward and, like, murdered Amberly Vale out of spite, actually.
Spite wouldn't even work if he just murdered her out of fear because he was just tired of being sent to battlefield after battlefield. Like,
yeah. That would be an absolute obliteration of Caiaphas Cain as a character. And that right there would I would be done with GW entirely. That would make me quit.
I mean, as you should.
That would make me quit. Caiaphas Cain is one of my favorite characters in any media. I love that fucking man. He is so, I love him. He is so cool.
Imagine if they said, after all this time, Gilliman never cared about McCrag. Hurts, doesn't it?
That. What if he said that Gilliman always hated Connor and Tarasha? That that would make people rage.
Yeah, because not only would you be alienating people who just really like Rabute Gilliman, you'd be fucking over Space Marine fans because the Ultramarines are the poster boys of Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah. And, like, would that be but it's just a retcon, right? Fuck, what's your name again? Hellstorm Wargaming?
I'm just calling him Hellstorm by this point.
Come on, Hellstorm. What if Gilliman actually hated Tarasha and Connor? What if Vulcan despised his adopted father, despised his sons? What if the Salamanders were the most violent and ruthless and uncaring chapter, actually, and it's always been that way? How many retcons, how many utterly and just like nonsensical, world-destroying retcons would it take for you to simply say, okay, this is getting out of control? Because Custodes is just the beginning. This shit is the foot in the door.
It is.
We're I'm going hard in the extremes and the extreme opposites, but you know, that might happen. They might unironically do the thing where some hack comes in and like writes dialogue of Rabute Gilliman said, I never loved King Connor and I never loved Tarasha, or I never loved my mother and father. And it's like, That's bullshit. You're lying to me. Stop it. Go away. This isn't. Yeah, that's not Rabute Gilliman. That's Robert Gluehuffer. I don't know. It's when I talk to not just specifically him, but these people when it comes to like change, like, well, this thing has a history of retcons. Like, well, how many retcons would it take for you to be on my side? What level of retcon would it take for you to come over here and be upset? How many and how severe would it be? Would they be? That's what I want to know.
Feel it in my bones. If this picture of the young Captain of Gondor absolutely ripping it here gets more likes than GW, response sucks. I mean, that's quite a funny picture. I do want to like it. I will no longer buy your products.
Okay.
They lost a customer. That's just what happened.
Canceling? Does that count as canceling? They've cancelled buying products? That counts, surely. 36 male protagonists, but last year I had 37.
What?
It's just some like
that's a horrible straw man.
Yeah, that guy's going to town on that straw man.
Yeah, like it's like, again, deflecting away from the issue, completely ignoring it.
Oh, imagine that Custodes character that could have been there if it wasn't for the woman who took his place.
What?
Yeah, when we actually have like important Custodes characters that actually need to be brought up, like the fact that Constantine Valdor's kind of just sitting in the warp right now with his personal demon army and redeemed traitor space marines, just waiting for the call.
Oh, that's what Valdor is doing. He's literally redeeming marines in the warp.
He's just sitting in like some part of the warp with just his own, basically his own personal demon army, and it's a bit weird. The fact they won't expand on that, like, cause like that's some heavy-handed shit right there.
Yeah, like a bunch of like redeemed, ready to fight for the Imperium traitor marines. I mean, that sounds cool.
Yeah, especially depending on like what you're talking about, because this is because you're bringing up the idea of like when they essentially, like, sorry, I was quickly looking at something. The idea that some of these legions were like they turned traitor against their own will.
Worldy was Death Guard like that?
Yeah, because of what fucking Typhus did.
Typhon. Yeah, Typhus. No, he was Typhon, and then he became Typhus.
Bastards. They took that one character. Not like every lead character in Warhammer is a bloke, but okay.
Irrelevant.
No.
Also wrong.
Relevant, but also untrue. Like, our martyred ladies, the two main characters are women. So.
Yep. In fact, there's a Custodes that hangs out with them too. Like, just saying, maybe that's not the issue here.
So when Brothers of Battle, there it is. Where is it? Misters of Battle. We've got the bottom right corner. We've got Mr.
I mean, like, that could be next, and what would happen if that's next? Would you do this again? Would you make this bingo card again? Fucking retard. No, you wouldn't. You'd be probably justifiably like, this doesn't make sense. Why are you doing this? This undermines the entire idea of the Sororitas. Yeah, it's just a retcon, bro. Who cares? They've always retconned things. It's just a retcon, bro.
It would just all their bullshit. It would just be used against them.
This is a battle. Brothers of Battle counts. Not according to the law, But also, chat, the most important thing. The following interesting 3% or more of the issued share capital. Barley Guildford, BlackRock, Vanguard. Is that to do with share price? It counts. Bing, bing. That's what we call that. We got this share
Yes, just ignore the references.
price, baby. Every time
Ignore
a woman
them, they
appears
don't
in the
exist.
law, they get reminded of their incel life. The only women they care about in the law are the ones that can't talk, okay? And I...
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Stop.
so
Shut up.
hold on. I want
Fuck
to.
you.
So.
That's what we call that. We got this share price, baby. Every time...
Fuck is that?
That's ponies. That's pony. That's pony hammer.
My gun loaded. The internet was a mistake. Life was a mistake. Why
Yes.
am I here? Just to suffer?
a woman appears in the law, they get reminded of their incel life. The only women they care about in the law are the ones that can't talk.
That's not
now
true.
Now
What the
on
fuck
to
are you
his
talking-
now on to that point, which is just simply wrong.
Yeah, no.
It's utterly retarded. It's just
You're so fucking stupid.
it's another fucking straw man of you just hate women. He did the thing.
One of the people that you were clowning on says, like, you know, Sisters of Silence exist. Can we please give them things?
No.
Or like, oh, I get it. No. Like, are they? Is he trying to reference the Sisters of Silence by saying, you know, they don't talk?
No, I don't even think he's smart enough to realize that. I think he genuinely is like, they just like people. Like, you just don't like, you like women who are silent.
You know, a woman is the reason why Gilliman is back.
Yeah. Good old Urain.
Yep, you're good old G Money's side piece. It's gonna be really weird when he finds out that yes, in terms of Primarch to Eldar compatibility,
Urain is at the top of the ew. Right in front of my Codex Astartes.
yes. Even Gilliman realized how the code. Even Bobby realized the Codex Astartes was a mistake.
He was, yeah, that's again furthering his cause of being based.
Okay, and I will not be proven wrong. Twitter imposed by...
Amberly Vale, Latara Sarin, Greyfax,
Celestine.
Celestine, it was the one old lady from Fulgrim's Primarch book. I can't remember her first name, but she was Pike. She was like someone from high society. She was very important in that book. She was really cool and witty and funny. There's probably a shit ton more that I'm not aware of.
Random in 10! We got Rogue in 10! Bingo! Bingo!
Hey, stop blowing out your
God.
fucking mic, you moron.
Yeah.
How is it that I know, like, I don't make any money off of this shit, and yet I still know that when I'm excited about this, I know not to blow out my fucking mic.
Yeah.
I don't...
We got Rogue in 10!
Sorry
God.
for any listener that whose eardrums possibly burst from that.
You should share this video on Heresy Posting. It'll probably get some views.
Probably will. I'll have to ask Danny because I'm pretty sure Heresy Posting has a strict anti-shill policy.
Oh, unless it's Danny.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's his group, so I'm not really gonna give him shit for that. If it's even true.
We got bingo! Oh, well done, everyone. It took us an hour, but we must have had what felt like 9,000 attempts at bingo by getting the same one over and over again. It's almost like they only have 3 arguments in their head and they just keep regurgitating
And you didn't even bother to dismantle any of them because you're so fucking pathetic. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. How smug do you, how fucking smug this guy has the smugness of movie Bob. I'll give him that.
He just thinks fucking right.
Yeah.
The same one. At the end of the day, this isn't the first reference to a female custodian. There is an
No, yes it is.
Yeah,
is-
let's
yes,
let
it
him
is.
finish. I'm pretty sure, and we know what he's gonna say. But let's have him
excerpt
finish.
in the Echoes of Eternity, which is one of the Siege of Terror books by Aaron Dembski Bowden, who's been outspoken multiple times on Reddit,
Is it this
saying
one?
that they always wanted to have female custodians, but they cut them from the law due to being told from the men upstairs who are in charge of marketing that there are no female custodian models that were due, so he probably needs to keep all of the stuff in the codexes as men for now. There's also an excerpt in Echoes of Eternity by Aaron Dembski Bowden from 2022, one of the Siege of Terror novels, going over some thoughts from Sanguinius, the Primarch of the Blood Angels, where he says, and I quote, "Figures clustered around the craft's landing legs, where the ship's great metal claws gripped the radiation-soaked dust of the wasteland. These men and women were plated in the same gold as the ship, rendered a..."
So
Let's
let's
guess who works with the Custodes.
Oh, don't tell me. Is it the Sisters of no, the Sisters of Battle, the Sisters of Silence?
Yeah, of course. Jesus, he was the men and women. Like that is that is a stretch. That is a fucking massive stretch. Those are Sisters of Silence. Like fuck off.
Upon their bodies with painstaking artistry. My father's guardian, Sanguinius thought to himself. And whilst you might think that, well, Mikey, obviously they're talking about the Adeptus Custodians, the men, and the Sisters of Silence, the women.
Because they
Which,
are.
arguably, you could say, you know, they don't explicitly say that it's a woman custodian. It's just a men and women in gold armor. Whereas any tabletop fans will know that the armor of Sisters of Silence and Adeptus Custodes is very different, so much so.
But it's fuck off. We're gonna get into the whole bronze versus gold bullshit.
I think he genuinely
really good-
is.
Oh my god, that's so stupid. Bronze is just a different shade of gold. Fuck off. And like, and like their armor is is it a bronze coloration for the Sisters of Silence, or is that just a tabletop like painting mini thing?
I think so. As I'm just gonna point up, I'm gonna pull up a picture of the Sisters of Silence. Let me black the screen for a moment. Pull away the
Let me do the same as well.
length to watch together. Okay, so Sisters of Silence. That's fucking gold, you moron. On the main page of the Sisters of Silence, I'm trying to pull up the picture. Hey Jake, does that look like fucking bronze to you? Does that look like, or does this look like fucking gold? Because if there's one thing to fucking talk about with the Imperium, is that most of its shit is fucking gold.
That looks gold. That looks like maybe a slightly darker shade of gold than the Custodes, but it's still gold.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up for everybody.
Okay, I even pulled up the minis. I even pulled up a picture of the minis. I'm gonna send it to the fucking Discord chat. That's gold. That's gold.
Yeah, it is.
That's fucking gold. Fuck off.
And here you go. There's some excuse me. There's some minis that are painted silver. Well, that's them just painting whatever colors they want for their minis, which they're allowed to do.
Yeah. Like we're talking about like painting them in like the official colors. Yeah. I don't know if this is official artwork, it might be, but like I think it is. Oh, whoops, that won't post it. That posts the link. Copy image. That's gold.
Yeah.
That's gold.
This is gold.
Yeah, no, it's gold. So fuck off with that. It's gold.
Has a whole different save value by the narrative of Warhammer that we are so holding on this high pedestal that can never be changed. What we have to remember is Sisters of Silence.
No, no one says it can never be changed. The whole thing is if you're gonna change it, have a good fucking reason to.
Yep.
Are null maidens. They are nulls in the warp, meaning people who are
Yes.
connected to the warp once they look or are near null maidens or Sisters of Silence in this instance, and Calexis assassins, they do the same thing. People connected to warp start feeling a little bit odd because they are near essentially like an EMP field for their brain. To say that this quote is from the point of view of Sanguinius and it is essentially an internal monologue about what's happening around him, it's weird that he never mentions that he's near a null maiden because even being a Primarch, this superhero who walks the earth or walks any planet they are on, in charge of the Blood Angels, one of the most revered chapters that there are, a revered lead.
This just seems like a massive fucking cope.
And also, there are some psychers that are not necessarily immune to the Sisters of Silence, but like Magnus, for example, doesn't have a fucking seizure when he's near the Sisters of Silence because they were brought to Prospero.
Like, I don't know. This just seems like a massive fucking cope where it's like, oh, they're not explicitly mentioning, like, the fact that he feels uneasy and whatnot. It's like, okay.
It's been mentioned multiple times that even as a psyker, like, again, Malkador and the Emperor are psychers. They feel nothing.
I mean, Sanguinius is kind of a psyker too with his feature seeing ability.
Yeah.
And, like, him flying, it has nothing to do with his wings, right?
I thought it was everything.
Isn't that the I don't know, I heard, like, the weird thing with Sanguinius is, like, he has wings, but, like, his wings aren't how he flies. I could be wrong on that, though.
Yeah, that just sounds weird if that really is the case.
Yeah, but, like, regardless, it's like, do they have to explicitly state that every time the Sisters of Silence are around? And even the thing is, even if that was omitted, like, or forgotten, or maybe the writer didn't really think it's like, I mean, this isn't really an important detail, because the audience probably already knows the deal with the Sisters of Silence.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't prove that it's female Custodes either. Because when that was written, right, there were no female Custode bullshit. So you would have to default to Sisters of Silence because that's the logical that's like the logical thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's but now you if you say, well, the men and women within those men and women, it's like, well, were the Sisters of Silence there at the time as well? Are we retconning that the Sisters of Silence weren't there? I haven't gotten that far into the heresy. So if somebody has, like, tell me about that Echoes, I think it was Echoes of Eternity. Could you, like, were they there in that fight? Or I don't know. But if they were, then yeah, they would be the Sisters of Silence. But that's like the most logical conclusion any rational person would have. And that was what the whatever. I almost went for the authorial intent, but authorial intent in a lot of cases doesn't really matter.
And in this case, authorial intent kind of bites it in the ass because the author said, like, oh, we wanted female, because, like, according to that Reddit post, if you're just taking a face value, they wanted female Custodes, but they were told, no, not in this lore. Which, exactly. GW has every right to do. It is their lore.
Yeah.
Which even then, like in the instance of creating these new female Custodes, yeah, they have a right to do. It's their lore. It's also my right to not buy the minis or buy the books. Like it's my right as the consumer to not have to deal with it.
Yeah. And again, this just seems like a massive cope for people just scrambling to find any mention at all of female Custodes before this retcon.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course you look at the codexes, and the codexes that constantly say that they are taken from the sons, the firstborn sons. And then you have the massive cope of people saying, well, brothers and sons isn't gender exclusive. Fuck you, yes it is.
Mm-hmm.
Regions in this case. It never bothers to say, there's a null maiden there. That makes me feel a little bit weird. Which to me says that it probably is a woman custody, but I might be wrong.
No, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Like, again, stop huffing the copium.
But I might be wrong, and it's just my interpretation. I'd be interested to
Yeah, your interpretation is wrong.
hear what yours is as well. And now we're in a position where Games Workshop have kept to that promise that they made during the Black Lives Matter movement, saying that Warhammer is for everyone.
Which, no, it's not. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Warhammer, by its content and what it contains, and like just in terms of its what is within the story, is literally not for everybody. It cannot be for everyone. It's for anyone. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, like, if we introduce Shammy to like the Demunculaba, is she gonna fucking like? Is that gonna be for her? No.
No, in fact, it's not gonna be for anyone because that's sick.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see if that story in of itself is actually well written. Because I hear the Uriel Ventress novels are very good.
It's all right because I've actually read it. It's fine. I sat down and read it because I was just like, what is this shit?
But again, you're also like citing the fucking thing that literally gets its own lore wrong with the Imperium. Where we continue to diverse casts. Our fate is grim and dark, but not a reflection of how we feel the world should be.
Are you reading the whole thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, never mind. I'm thinking of a different one. This is not the same one. Bonds and build friendships. We will accept and not condone prejudice, hatred, or abuse in the company of the Warhammer Army. We will continue to diversify the cast of characters we portray. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking of a different one. It's not this one. But no, it's not for everyone. It cannot be. No hobby can be for everyone. That is... Like, there are people that are going to not like it due to its content, due to, like, how the tabletop may play, how maybe someone doesn't like the mechanics of the game. Some people just may not like the content of the story, or the genre of sci-fi isn't for them, or they don't like grimdark. Like, it's not going to be for everyone. It can be for anyone, but not for everyone.
Exactly.
And they'll be continue to push diversity in their characters and stories.
Yeah. Because Warhammer's already immensely diverse. So you would just take the diversity you already have and, like, use it. It's right there.
And ultimately, if you've got a problem with that, you're probably on the wrong side of history, because you can sit there and call me woke, but if I'm woke...
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck off. Seriously.
You're the opposite, what are you really? There's a big thing, I think, just in...
Don't you mortal grandstand me.
Fucking... You are fucking huffing that goddamn copium.
How dare you?
Fucking prick-ass bitch.
Oh, no one has the right to moral grandstand anyone. I've always held on to that belief. Because I know it's the oh, we live in a society, like, but participate in society. It's like, yeah, that's why people shouldn't really be, like, you should always be trying to change things for the better, but, like, if you're going to, if you're gonna bitch about, like, about having principles and all that kind of stuff, and yet, for example, they're like, oh yeah, sorry, my train of thought's going in, like, every sorts of fucking directions.
Yeah, focus.
As he just said, like, that you're the wrong side of history. Don't act like this is a fucking major civil rights victory you just fucking got. It's not.
And people aren't upset at diversity, you fucking clown. That's
I
not what
am
people are
not
upset
upset that there are more women in the franchise. Some of my favorite characters in Warhammer are women. God damn.
You've got a problem with that. You're probably on the wrong side of history, because you can sit there and call me woke, but if I'm woke and you're the opposite, what are you really?
Based.
So, yeah, like, seriously, he didn't think that through. It's like, because, like, the whole idea is that if you're those that are woke are cringe, are cringe, authoritarian, weird, commie fuckheads, whereas those that are not woke are typically, like, normal people. I'm a normal person, if we're gonna do that.
There's a big thing.
Thought you could fucking pull, like, some higher fucking thing on me. Fuck you.
Yeah, condescending prick.
I think just in general media, whether it's in fandoms, whether it's just in general, a big culture war, and it's a shame, really, because ultimately there shouldn't be a war about culture.
I mean, I agree with you, but you want to know who are the ones that are, like, encroaching and like provoking it? Not people on, not over here on this side. Okay, maybe a little bit. But then again, I disassociate.
At the very
with,
least,
like,
it's not us.
It's not us. It's not us. It's like maybe like people that are like on the side of like Az or Gary or the Quartering. They probably are.
Not even then. Like, I'm thinking like just flat out politicians and that kind of shit, when they're just like, yeah, we can do all this stuff. It's like, yeah, yes you can.
Mm-hmm. You can, but should you really?
We should just be respectful of everyone who wants to be involved in the thing that we want to be involved with. And I know, as per my bingo card, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, etc. have all been posted down in the comments saying that they all died and this is the last bastion that fell. But ultimately, in my opinion, it's just a little bit sad that you are so... Not you, because I don't want to call out you. I want to just say...
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's what you were doing with your stupid retarded bingo.
Why the fuck
That's exactly
are you
what the fuck
lying
you were doing.
to me, you absolute prick?
Yeah, stop fucking lying. What are you doing? You lying sack of shit.
In general, the people are so invested in the idea that their fandom is theirs to to appropriate into their, in my opinion, disgusting views that
Then the thing is, don't say you, say, like, list specifically who you're talking about.
Also, like, there are some people that think that your views are disgusting.
Granted, I don't know what this guy's political views are, so I'm not going to bother to comment. I just think he's a fucking retard with this video.
It's just weird when somebody, unless it's, like, the obvious fucking stuff, like we shouldn't be raping children, for example. I kind of just, I live on a policy of live and let live. Like, so people can just have their own politics, people can live their own life. Just don't, like, force things on children. Don't murder. Because, you know, it's against the law. Don't be a prick.
But even just that, it's like specify who you're talking about, because when you did your whole stupid bingo shit, like a lot of the people that you were like soy facing over because you got the fucking cross out thing on your card, some of them, or at least most of them, made good points. Like they said things that made sense. And like you're trying to are you lumping them in with like the very few handful of actual like Nazis and shit that may think I unironically want the Imperium of Man in our world, like those retards? Like, the fuck are you on?
Any change to that is just another company that's going to die. And it's just a little bit sad when we can just all enjoy the hobby together, whether you're...
It's kind of hard to enjoy a hobby that the company that has the hobby, like the company that is like, you know, that has made the hobby is for some reason trying to pander to people that would not buy the hobby and alienate people who do buy into the hobby. So therefore the hobby is going to suffer and potentially die. It's kind of hard to enjoy a dying hobby.
Yeah.
And yeah, Star Wars and Marvel are dying. Or at least specifically the MCU. The MCU is certainly dying.
A lot of people think these brands are already dead.
Yeah. They're on their last, maybe not last legs, but they're getting there. Because like the MCU, I think in Star Wars are like beasts that while they can die, it's going to take a very long time and a lot to kill them. Mm-hmm. It's happening, but
man, a woman, a non-binary, a person of color, a marginalized group. Maybe we should all just play this game together and roll some dice. But if you...
I don't play the game or roll the dice, but like, I mean, sure, I don't give a shit if sure, I don't care what superficial aspect of your of your person you are. Sure, well let's roll some dice. Just don't come in, demand to fucking change things, and then like leave after like actual gene stealers preparing the planet for the Tyranid horde to come and consume it.
You don't want to tolerate the other people that might not look like you, then
that's not the issue at hand. You're strawmanning the issue.
I don't care if a black person wants to play Warhammer.
No one cares about the skin color, aside from like the 3 people that do.
I don't care if somebody has tits when they walk into a Games Workshop. I'm gonna stare at them, but that's because I'm me. I have a problem.
Yes, you do. But like nobody, like, why are you bringing this? Like, no, like you think that the people who have an issue with the female Custodes are like the unironic people that say, yeah, let's put the black people back in zoos?
Is that what you're trying to... That's always the fucking straw man. How they view these people. They view them as if they're the fucking actual politicians that want to take away people's rights. Which, by the way, like, again, is a further fucking straw man. I'm sure there are some people that want to take away the rights of other people. You know what we do? We vote those people out.
Talking about politicians, he's literally talking about people who enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Guess what? Those people are typically ostracized.
I don't care if somebody is super autistic, walks into a Games Workshop, and goes, I'd like to play this hobby. And I'd go, hi, Jake, I was waiting for you to get here.
I mean, fair enough, yeah.
Because it's just a hobby.
It's so weird. These people are so fucking weird. I don't understand them. I would imagine from someone, this guy who is into the hobby, who does know that actually he does read the rule books and stuff. I would imagine that he would that he would understand going, oh yeah, like I may not necessarily agree with people freaking out about this lore change because maybe he's more into the tabletop aspect than the lore aspect. You know, maybe he doesn't really care much about the lore. He only cares about playing the game, which is certainly a fair stance to have.
Yeah.
But he would kind of go like, but you know, like from my, like if he was like, yeah, no, I'm not trying to generalize anyone. Even like the people who may be saying some like things I don't agree with, I don't think they're any of this. But no, he just flat the fuck went out on this pathetic, petty bingo bullshit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And that's a you problem, and maybe you aren't welcome. Because what?
I welcome
I
anyone that can fucking stand this hobby and that actually wants to play and wants to learn that the great universe that has been established for 30 plus fucking years.
Yeah, same. Here's the thing, I would even accept you. I don't think you should get out of the hobby.
I mean, I was here first, so, yeah.
No, not you, the
Hellfire.
retard on
You're
screen.
talking about Hellfire, I know.
Hellstorm.
Oh, fuck.
And talking about Hellstorm, I don't want Hellstorm to get out of the hobby, even though this video is cringe, and he probably has a lot of other cringe things, because he clearly cares about it. He buys into it. He plays it. He reviews it. He at least, if it's not his job to play the game, he at least has like a part-time side hustle to play the game, which good on him.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, but like again, I want the people that come in, demand the thing to be changed to be more inclusive without realizing it already is incredibly inclusive and diverse, like to begin with, wanting them to like change things and then just leave because they never cared to begin with. Those people aren't welcome. Those people won't be missed.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, those people came in trying to change what everybody loved.
Mm-hmm.
Warhammer is for everyone. And if you feel
No, it's for anyone. Nothing can be for everyone. It's impossible for something to be for everyone.
When you make it for everyone, you make generic franchises like Call of Duty, and
Even Call of Duty isn't for everyone.
yeah, it's just as much as these I just realized that mistake. Even franchises that say they're for everybody, which is like Call of Duty, Madden, all that kind of stuff. Not everybody plays those games. Like there could be some forklift driver that at the end of the day, after a long day's work, they sit down and play fucking Dark Souls.
Yeah.
way, wherever and whoever you are, we're always going to be welcoming to you and be glad that you're part of the Warhammer community.
I am always going to be welcome to you as well. Just don't try to change my space. Again, where I'm saying this out of genuine niceties and actually want people to see this great hobby for what it is and this great lore, you just want to push people like me, who I don't know if I've been in this hobby longer than you. You probably have been here longer than me because you look older than me. But I just don't. I wouldn't imagine like kicking people out of a hobby. Like it's just never been my MO.
Like if they're buying into the hobby and they yeah, because he's not like addressing actual racists and actual sexists.
He's yelling at us.
Yeah, just the average person that's like, no, we don't like this change. This change is it doesn't do anything. It's needless. It's stupid. It's nonsensical. You're doing it for brownie points.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Yeah. But that's it. That's the video. It's over.
Fuck you, Hellstorm, for making me now need to do extra work, because now I need to cover up the fact, like, whether or not you think you doxed these people, I almost think is irrelevant, because I honestly just think you did.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's like, I don't know. Like if you would have just said I don't care about the change, and you go to explain why you don't care, and you do pull, well, they've retconned things before, that sort of shit. I would say okay. I would still hold my position, but at the very least, it's like, oh well.
It would just
I
then
mean, I don't
turn
agree
into
with.
a. It would just turn into a I don't care that you don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And it just then we would just they would just be like, oh, this video's kind of worthless. Whatever. Go to the next one. But no, you had to like essentially become the people that you are deriding, but just in the other direction.
You become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Best that we burned in the flames of Hellstorm's ambition.
So, thank you all so much for being here. Jake, you go ahead and plug in yourself away.
Oh, Jake the Surgeon, I make dumb videos about dumb things. I'm currently working on the unfinished epilogue to Ruby Volume 9 and just going over that. It's going to be a short video. And then after that, it's probably going to be taking on Rebel Moon Parts 1 and 2 at the same time.
Again, I still just want that to be a video where it's just two reviews literally playing at the same time. At one point, like, it's just one review is pointing to the other. At one point, it's like, and this is what, then it's like later be explained by part 2, and then you just come in and it's like, wait a second, no one understands what the fuck is going on. What did Zach edit this review?
Remember, if you don't like Zack Snyder's movies, you're for your focus groups.
That's just it doesn't even sound like he spoke English when he said that.
No, because Zach's not. I think Zach is a robot.
So, in terms of YARP projects, I am trying to get everybody to see 2 movies, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare and Monkey Man, because those are films that I think are... I saw Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I think it's really good. I would like the others to see it. Monkey Man, mainly because I just want to see what Dev Patel's debut as a director is like. And also, not only his debut as a director, his debut as a writer. That's interesting to me. Because I'm always welcoming to new writers. Because maybe he's an absolute fucking genius. Also, like, there's just a bunch of movies coming out. I may try to talk everybody into watching Fall Guy with the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. That's Free Guy. That's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ryan Gosling stuntman movie seems entertaining, and especially since I've been watching a couple of his movies as of late. It turns out he's been a really good actor even before he was Ken.
Yeah, before he was just Ken. Anywhere else, he'd be a 10. He was always a 10.
So thank you all so much for listening to our bullshit. This was a lot heated than we normally are, but this was a very annoying topic, and it feels like we've been stewing on this for like a fucking week now.
Yeah, it's just been something that's been festering.
So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.